Quack! Quack! Pull it down, big man! Quack!
Give it to me one time!
Quack! Go Ducks! Welcome to the Quack 12 podcast, home of the champions. When great heroes like Martin Luther King have set forward the goal of podcasting, we all can work there. The 10 steps of making a great podcast: teamsmanship, worksmanship, working together,
Keep it going.
belief in equality,
Fire drills,
San Francisco, the Lakers,
fire drills,
believing in yourself, fire drills, not being able to bend your knees, and of course, Darwin's book of evolution that has a title. Throw it down, big man.
Yeah, you know what? Real quick, since we're there, I was gonna see how to get it introed, but you introed it. Let's just add this one to the pile if we can, please.
Okay.
Braves, I'd love to see you on the pickleball court. No, that requires movement. I'm not sort of anchored to the earth, the flat earth, which is definitely what I need.
Well, I didn't get that last part, but I got the part where he says flat earth. We heard that.
Yeah.
He's like, the flat earth, which I need. I thought it was funny.
He's glued to the ground.
We're talking about Bill Walton here.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Come on, everybody. He is
Come on, please.
He is glued to the earth, the flat earth.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
So, that was an interesting game for him because
he was on one.
He was on one. He got that guy at the halftime show on one. They have very similar energy. He's like the new gen version.
Like when in the studio when they call back. Yeah. I forget who it was. There's also the school of Bill Walton sports journalism includes, let's say like me and you are co-hosting right now or something like that.
Sure.
Like we are, I suppose.
Would I be the one?
One thing you're the Bill Walton of this crew. Absolutely. I find myself becoming more and more of a Dave Pash every day.
Sure. It makes sense whenever your partner's fucking talking about flat earth.
During a broadcast. Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, God almighty.
The Bill Walton School of Journalism is also to be like, yes, and we got Aaron Schroeder in the house here. Aaron Schroeder's grandma just died, and we pray that she went to heaven. Like, if there's a tragedy, you always bring it back to the tragedy. And if you can't think of a tragedy, then you bring up like the works of Martin Luther King and his assassination. Like, it is truly every single.
My God. This guy.
And then Dave Pash did a really good job. Actually, I thought the banter was fun for them. Like Bill Walton was a little bit more on the ball than normal.
True.
Surprisingly.
However,
we're jumping right into Quack's ball because that's what we got.
Yeah, but we're just talking about the announcings.
Yeah.
I will say the thing that kind of got me though was
he won 6 teams.
There are moments where what's his name? Pash?
Dave Pash. That's right.
Pash was being mean for no real reason, but just to be mean.
No,
there was a point where where Pash goes, you raised some pretty interesting questions during the press whatever thingy. And Bill Walton goes, oh, really? Which ones? And he goes, I forget.
No, exactly. Dave,
he's like, I try to forget immediately. And
you were like the teacher,
dude. That's cuts.
You're the teacher that looks over and sees one kid like freaking out and another kid, and you're like, oh, that kid's got to go to detention, the one that's freaking out. But what you don't know is the other kid has been pestering him all recess. Like the reason why Dave Pash hates Bill Walton is because nonstop he's had to deal with this shit. It's more people now.
He's dealing with it when the mics are off.
There was one line,
I'm sure is the oh man.
I wish I would have
from the game
down. Yeah, I mean there was quite a few. I definitely clocked the flat Earth one, made me laugh, and I feel like Dave Pash was gonna make fun of that, but then
dude, he had some eyeballs ready to dig in. He went, you know what? It's not worth it on this one. Let's get back to the game
too, because it's like, well, Bill Walton is the kind of guy that would bring up like, well, you don't believe in evolution, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
He's willing.
He saw us. I'm pretty sure Bill Walton might not even believe in flat Earth. He did it just to get Pash to react with something so he could go at him with the evolution.
Yeah. Dave Pash was on it. There was some good lines. Not any like top 10 Walton lines or anything like that. I love Dave Pash's he's got a new angle to get at Bill. And I really do appreciate this. Because he's always been like, like he coined the no truck stop conference, as in like all these other, like who gives a shit about Maryland basketball or
Pash coined that?
No. Bill Walton did.
Oh wow, good job.
We're the
Bill.
Conference of Champions,
right?
They are
love that one.
They're the truck stop conferences where they got to play in random little nasty places like fill in the blank. Like,
we got no truck stops here.
We got no trucks. Every single city, every single school is a huge brand. Not true, but that's what.
I mean, he's talking 7 teams going to the tourney.
Yeah, he's talking 7 goddamn teams going to the tourney. Win like hopefully one does.
I bet 7 go.
Okay, there you go. I bet they don't. Let's put some money down. I bet 7 teams from the Pac-12 do not make the tournament.
We'll see.
But Dave Pash's new angle that he's jabbing at Bill Walton at, the new wound that he's picking at, is obviously we are now joining a truck stop conference.
Right.
The conference that he used to make fun of all the time. And who knows what Bill Walton's future is, because I don't imagine the Big Ten is like, it's a priority that we get Bill Walton to come and talk about only the Pac-12
Here's the deal.
Crazy enough.
I think if it's a discontinuation, it's on Bill's side, because while I agree he's not priority, he's more like Jazz, where he's legacy. So he kind of comes along with the package, and if you don't, you're going to get mud smeared on you, because people will take to the streets about you not offering Bill Walton.
Well, people hate Bill Walton too, though. I swear.
I don't. Well, sure. Maybe he's too iconic. It's too iconic.
I mean, I want him there. I want him there. But okay, so Dave.
People hate Jazz, but yet Jazz still does exist and is released. Do you know what I mean?
You mean people hate like stuff like that?
Well, I think people like white people jazz.
Oh, like
it's all the other jazz that they're not into.
So they like Chet Baker, not so much your Miles Davis.
Yeah, or I think when people think I like jazz, they're thinking like Frank Sinatra.
That's hardly jazz. Hardly jazz.
Right. That's the problem with today's society, Adam.
Well, Dave Pash, his new thing now is to be like, oh, Bill, so you're going to be joining a bunch of truck stops. What do you think about that? Like, really getting him on that and just being like, oh, I hope you enjoy Illinois. Like, I don't know. I like this angle of him just really jabbing at him that the conference is dead. I'm not happy the conference is dead, but it's a funny angle to go at Walton.
I have to be honest. I'm kind of glad the conference is dead.
Hey,
when something is broken, you should replace it and
murder it.
Here we go. We did it. We did it. We finally did it. We finally started playing Rutgers regularly. Oh boy, Rutgers.
But so Bill Walton was in fine form. I don't really remember anything specifically extra crazy or anything that he said. Just rambling about anything and everything. Oh, there was a part where I remember he asked, this was the part I'm really glad I remember this, because this was probably the funniest bit for me in the conversation, is because they're talking about George Lucas, the UCLA connection. Steven Spielberg has also worked with UCLA, and Dave Pash asked a legit interesting question, and he's like, hey, Bill, I heard that you were supposed to play Chewy-Bacca. Like, you were asked to offer to play Chewy-Bacca. Is that true? And at first I thought it was a total bit,
Yeah.
And Bill Walton immediately starts going like, George Lucas is a legendary visionary from the school from UCLA, always, Bruins fan. And then Dave's like, no, I'm asking you a question. I'm not joking. I heard that you were offered the role of Chewbacca. Is that true? Like, will you answer the question? And then Bill Walton goes all like, Chewy-Bacca is someone that that has many people have been inspired by him. The things that George Lucas has done. I remember being at a UCLA benefit with George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. I talked to them quite a bit. And Dave is like, answer the question, Bill. I just want to know if you were offered Chewbacca. And then again, Bill Walton doubles down on his pronunciation. He goes like, Chewy-Bacca, the big hairy man. Like he keeps calling him Chewy-Bacca, the only person to call him Chewy-Bacca. And and he's like, okay, I guess you're not answering the question then. And that's kind of where it was dropped. But I really want to know if Bill Walton was offered Chewy-Bacca. He said that, like, again, it was a joke answer, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He says Chewy-Bacca was based off of him, but he was not offered the role. Is that true? I don't know. I'm right now.
That could be true. That seems true. That I can see.
On air right now.
Because, look, if he went to UCLA, then for sure...
Mm-hmm.
Walton's on the court, and I'm sure he had some kind of like personality type that was known across campus. And so George just, being like some kind of an animal or whatever, but he's so outer space. You know what I mean?
I'm looking right now. See, this is the state of fucking journalism, man.
How do you know? I mean,
we have yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Would not be surprised in the slightest if we learned that the inspiration came from a party trick that Bill Walton would do, where after he chugged a beer or whatever, he would do the like,
yeah, or whatever it is. Yeah. Oh no, I believe it. Like a stoned ass, just like more mushrooms.
That's how he laughed, maybe back in the day. That was him stoned out of his brains.
This is the state of journalism, where like we have a goofy little podcast called the Quack podcast, not to be taken seriously. And I just did the same amount of reporting as the Los Angeles Times just did, because I wanted to look this up. I just typed in Bill Walton Chewbacca. One of the first things pops up is an article that came out 3 days ago.
Oh, wow.
Bill Walton claims Chewbacca was modeled after him, auditioning for Star Wars. Yes, and all it is quoting the game. I do like how they started off, though. It says like, Bill Walton is tall, so is Chewbacca. Walton once had long hair and a shaggy beard. Chewbacca has hair all over his body.
Right.
Walton has a son named Luke. Chewbacca has a friend named Luke. Walton was terrific with the basketball.
I hate that.
Chewbacca is quite handy with a blaster, which starts with the same letter as basketball. Yep, there's no doubt about it. Walton and Chewbacca are basically one and the same. So they have not, from what I see, there is no evidence really that they're providing here, but they do have the exact quotes. As in Pat saying, is it true that you were in the mix to play Chewbacca? Chewy-Bacca is modeled after me. I heard that you were in the running for that you were being considered to play the role. I'm being dead serious. You're always serious. That's one of your problems, that you don't have fun with your life. Even though it's like, dude, I'm trying to have fun with you right now.
Right.
I'm talking about Chewbacca.
Right.
A broadcast, and you are the one being too serious right now.
Yeah.
And then he says,
or he's being too not serious.
Yeah, too not.
He will never meet. As soon as Pash comes to come play, he's like, no, bye.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Could you imagine living with that guy, being that dude's wife?
Walton is the annoying combo of like, I don't take anything seriously unless you like annoy me in the slightest, or you try to like play along with me, then I take things way too fucking personal and serious.
Yeah.
So then he goes, so he gets like, yeah, you don't have any fun with your life. Then Pash says, but you're not answering the question. And then Walton says, George Lucas is as cool as they get. And I remember the night that George, Kareem, Bill Russell, and me were all up at San Francisco.
Did he say Kareem?
Yeah, Kareem.
Wow.
We were all up at San Francisco at a big fundraiser for the Martin Luther King Memorial. And then Pash says,
right. That's where that shows up.
Pash says, well, it shows up like 5 times. Of course, he's going to mention MLK 10 times during the broadcast. Pash says, so since you're not answering the question, I'm just going to assume it's true. Walton, what was the question? I auditioned for Chewy-Bacca, and they said no, but we're going to model the character after you. And then this was interesting.
So there it is. He did audition.
That's what he says. I doubt they modeled it after him. This is the other thing, though. Pash then drops this bomb, which I may need to do another little Google search of. You were in Ghostbusters, and people didn't know that. So again, I think there's a good chance that this is a true story.
Yeah.
That's where it ends. Otherwise, yeah, this article is just absolutely nothing. They're not giving you any new information. It's just one of those classic, we're going to recite a 30-second video and make it an article and try to make you pay for it. So right now I'm going to type in Bill Walton Ghostbusters and see if anything pops up, because this is the most important pressing news. And then we'll actually get into some Quack.
I was about to say, because I was like, brother, hey, we got football news we need to get into.
Do you remember how I said this is going to be a really short episode? And I wanted to, for you never not to get it going. Okay. So he's in the closing credits. So Bill Walton,
when they're celebrating
credits. Okay. TV room dirt on himself, shouting at the Wu-Tang Clan, telling, but yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just tell me where he is. Okay. Found Bill Walton in Ghostbusters. Isn't him. I'm looking at it on a tweet right now.
The deep science Twitter.
No way. Okay, he is so barely in a background shot, but I do have to say, okay, I'm going to pull it up. We can't talk about this and have a YouTube account and not. It does appear to be Bill Walton. So I got to show you.
Okay. Give me the hot stuff here. Let me see.
Aaron, this is important. In the back. So as you see
there, yeah.
For a split second.
I mean,
he's in the background of the closing credits. He is smiling. That is him. Like, I can tell from here at this time, that is actually Bill Walton. So Bill Walton is in Ghostbusters. I thought it was going to be like an actual ghost or something. I thought it was going to be fucking Slimer. They actually modeled Slimer after me. Slimer. Actually, he would get it wrong, though. I know his Slimer's real name is Onion Head.
Really?
So he'd combined it like he did Chewy-Bacca. It'd be like Onion Slime. That's probably what he'd call it. Anyway,
slime ball.
They based slime ball after me. Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Walton.
How intriguing.
Yeah.
Seems like he was just there when it happened.
Yeah, no, I honestly think he was there. He's probably best friends with fucking John Landis.
You know, he's just walking through the park like any other New Yorker would be doing at that time. Just, everybody's always filming here. I'm walking through. I'm tripping balls. I'm walking through
here, maybe he would say, as he's crossing the street and a taxi approaches too close. Speaking of John Landis, keep your eyes out for the Quack 12 Patreon. We will be posting for subscribers, that is, an early preview of our Animal House review. That is right.
What?
Along with a wonderful comedian in the Utah area, Adam Browd, we review Animal House. Should be up momentarily over on that Patreon for early access, and then later for you normies. Very fun episode to record. That being said, Aaron, we have some Quacksaball.
It won't be up momentarily.
Nope. Well, it'll be up for a while. It'll be up soon.
There we go.
Soon.
Coming in hot. Adam, with all that out of the way, tell me what's going on in football world, because I heard some scuttlebutts happening in my neighborhood, and I want to keep the riffraff out.
I will tell you that there's not really much going on, except there was one recruit that I wanted to briefly talk about.
Ah,
A recruit with a pretty insane name, Gatlin Bear.
sure.
Pretty cool, right? Gatlin
Yeah.
Bear. He is a, count 'em, 5-star wide receiver. So pretty big get. Friggin' 5
Yeah.
stars. Can't get any better than that. He is from Idaho. He originally committed to Boise State. He was kind of a hometown kid. You know, a 5-star going to Boise State. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
He would have been a big deal there, except Andy Avalos, our former DC, who then took the head coaching job over at Boise State. He has been fired, as we know.
Whoa, I did not know that.
I told you, but like 6 months ago, so I don't blame you.
Oh, shit. He's been fired for a long time.
Not 6 months, but 3 months ago, I want to say, something like that. He got fired like mid-season. Or
Holy
like
shit.
near the
Okay.
end.
Yeah, I probably heard those words then before.
Yeah, so Andy Avalos, he's been fired, which kind of shook Gatlin Bear's commitment because it's a new coach. You know, so then it came down to two teams. Once his home state school was out, he's like, okay, I'm going for the big boys. It's coming down to either Oregon or Michigan. Michigan, it seemed like, was really in the lead. Michigan, you know, like blockbuster. I mean, a great year for them. They won the national.
Yeah, great year for a cheater.
Yeah, no joke.
Just saying.
They cheated their way all the way there. They beat the Huskies, so power to them. But due to that success and due to him wanting to not be in college anymore and to work with Justin Herbert, Harbaugh left. So Harbaugh leaves, right? And because of that continuity being gone, Gatlin Bear decides, not going to Michigan. I'm going with Oregon. And he literally says,
Harbaugh retired, correct?
No. Harbaugh is coach for the LA Chargers.
Was it the Alabama coach that retired?
There you go, Nick Saban. Yes.
There it is. Saban retired. Thank you.
Yeah,
okay, I can keep them together.
You got it.
Harbaugh, who won the whole thing, a young man, honestly, what, early 50s tops?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to LA. He's Pro Bowl now.
Oh
Pro
yeah,
Bowl.
baby, in the pro game. Yeah, he's working with Justin Herbert.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
Hopefully doing good things there. Now, Gatlin Bear, this is the cool thing because this is like what we were saying with Dan Lanning, the way he put all that coaching turmoil and turned it into just a big old positive for the program. Like being like, I'm not going anywhere. If you're worried about where your coach is going to be, come here.
Right.
Like
he singed them good.
Oh yeah,
singed them but good.
He truly did, because Gatlin Bear, that is what he says. One of the main reasons why he came here. I don't think there's another coach in college football that has the ambition that he has. When you talk to him, you can tell that he wants it really bad. He wants to win a national championship really bad. I would say at some point in the next little while, Oregon is going to win a national championship because I don't think anybody wants it as bad as him.
Facts.
He's just got that look in his eye. He does a ton more than a lot of other head coaches do. Fuck yeah. Which is super impressive. That's the guy you want to play for.
That's right.
And I mean, it's very clear.
We are disrupting the fucking college football landscape.
I agree. He literally says, like, after Coach Lanning didn't take the Alabama job, that's when he was like, all right, he's really not going anywhere.
Right.
For my time there, he's going to be at Oregon. Anything can happen, but I think he's one of the most stable coaches in college football. He doesn't want to be anywhere else. He's really got my trust from that standpoint. Like, it's the two sides of the coin where, because there's so much more fluidity in where a coach can go nowadays, like contract,
it's stupid, dude.
Nothing. There's so much fluidity with that it makes it even more powerful when a coach stays.
Right. Which is, cool. I think, what Lanning is proving in real time. And I'm going to guarantee you, now that the players are learning that they have more power than what was perceived in the past. Coaches are going to have to start wising up to that as well, because so otherwise every great player is going to want to go one place. Luckily, it happens to be Eugene, Oregon.
Your Oregon Ducks. Aaron.
I would like to start now a petition to ask Dan Lanning to bring back in earnest the term mud ducks as our chant or something, like our slogan, because we're gonna get down and dirty.
Well, I want to,
and also we're disrupting the landscape. We're kicking up mud.
We get mud. I wish our field looked a little more muddy. Then we should add some more mud to the field.
I truly wish there were no AstroTurf fields. Period. Play on the ground. Play on the cold, hard ground.
In the mud where the ore tire made.
Yeah.
Aaron, it's Quacksball time.
Quacksball. 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 Uh-oh.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. And we are back on track. Quacksball is good. I love the way they dribble up and down the court. I don't know about you. Aaron, we're going to go in order here. Now, we already thoroughly covered the ways of Bill Walton, Dave Pasch, and Chewy-Bacca.
Right.
But I think we should go in order because that really tells the tale of
the tape.
Of the point we are at in Quacksball season for both the men and the women. The men had 2 games. We're going to start with them because they both took place before the women's.
Facts.
Now, against USC ain't
fun game.
Fun game. I agree because we won. That especially makes it fun. But I will say USC is a struggling team. If they were smart, they would think about firing Andy Enfield.
Well, I understood it as though they had heat, but something has shifted the last little while that they've kind of they're going down.
Yeah. Well,
I'll tell you down slope.
They can't go much further down in the Pac-12 because they are literally in last place in the Pac-12. They are 9-13 overall this season. And they are 3-8 in conference play.
I got to say that concerns me for one reason, which is that, until it didn't, the game felt competitive.
Yeah. Well, we did have a good. Okay, so Jackson Shellstad comes out there, hits his first 6 freaking shots. Easy, quick 15 points.
Showing off exactly who he is.
Yeah.
And who he can be. Oh my God, he's going to be.
Yeah, no, he is amazing. Like there's
true leadership there.
There's
Adam, we have a leader.
Oh yeah. There's glimpses of him being just this amazing offensive threat, an overall well-rounded player. But then, he went on a big stretch of not necessarily scoring any points, being a little bit not as sharp as his crazy hot start. But he got us off to a quick start. We built up a pretty good lead. They then rallied back. But after the half, after starting the second half really strong, it wasn't until the final couple minutes that it was actually felt close. It did feel closer than it needed to be. And we were able to hit our free throws. And so it wasn't too much drama, but I do agree that it was competitive. It wasn't like a blowout. But
well, I mean, no, wasn't this the game where after a certain amount of time we were just kind of up by 12? We kind of sat around 72 for a while as they slowly edged it closer. But that was never anything to be concerned about, I felt like.
Yeah, no, this game was in hand, which allowed Bill and Dave to truly just talk about whatever the fuck they wanted. Dante was in, Biddle was not for this whole weekend for both these games. The good news is they just said that Biddle, it was an illness.
Yeah.
Nowadays your mind immediately goes to COVID. However, he was in the building for UCLA. So you're kind of like, well, okay, so it's not unless they're being very irresponsible, it's not COVID because he's sitting on the bench, but they were clear to say illness and not injury. So he should be back soon. And I'm sure his presence would have helped huge in both of these games, especially not having Keyshawn Bartholomew. I think that is going to hurt us because he was playing his best basketball before he got injured, and he's out for the season. Keyshawn Bartholomew. He got injured against Arizona.
Dang.
Yeah, and he was the sixth man so far. Like he was doing great. And then not only that, so Keyshawn, he's out, as is Mookie, the guy who we were really counting on, who got some minutes, really didn't play that much. Apparently, he kind of re-aggravated the injury. Like, it's not too serious, but they're serious enough that they're going to shut him down for the remainder of the season.
The knee thing, he had was he wearing the big black knee strap and kind of looked like it tweaked it? And he was kind of hobbling on the...
He had his off-season surgery.
Yes.
And it sounds
What's his last name?
Mookie Cook.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not who I remember having like a little shakeup. Oh, I'm thinking of
Keyshawn Bartholomew, is that
or Dante.
Oh, Dante's always healing. And Dante is really needing to get back into not just game shape, but like full-time game. Like that we need him to play as many minutes, competitive minutes as possible. And that is going to get tough late in games when you most want to rely on a player like Dante. It's like, yeah, but you're asking so many minutes of him. If you can't put Biddle in there, if KJ Evans can't play a bigger part, if the drop-off is too big when Dante isn't out, and so you have to play him for all these minutes, then those final 5 minutes are going to get really tough for him because he's a mortal man,
Yeah.
But he hit his free throws late in this one, ended up being crucial. Overall, a really good game against a bad squad. At least it wasn't
which
like
is why I'm concerned about it.
Well,
because the next game...
Well, yeah. Well, against USC, it's not like it was... We weren't trading leads back and forth.
Right.
It was just every once in a while they'd be within under 10. So I feel happy about that, especially on the road, too. You got to keep in mind. And USC has talented players. It's just they're a bad team. So... But they are last in the Pac-12. Then we played against UCLA, which this is the game we really need to talk about, I think. Am I right? Well, let me say this.
I mean,
before we move on, USC, I just want to shout out that all 5 of our starters, including Oquendo, who earned his first start out there, all 5 of them scored in double digits. Brennan Rigsby, we need more from him, especially since our guards, we're down 2 guards now.
Yeah.
We need better than 1 of 7 shooting from him, 1 of 5 from the 3-point land. But we got 11 points from Dante, 11 points from Bam Tracy, who's coming up really big, playing some really big moments. He's probably the 6th man of the year if it's not Keyshawn. But I mean, he's starting now, so maybe he's not 6th man. Kuznard had 11. Shellstead had 20 after getting 15 really quick. And Oquendo also had 12 in his first start.
Remind me, who's number 4? The white boy?
Brennan Rigsby, probably.
Rigsby.
Yeah.
What's up with him? He's in this game. Yeah. Quite a bit.
He's good, dude. I like him. He's a little bit of a liability on defense occasionally.
Yeah.
When he's at his most useful, it's when he's just draining threes.
Yes.
Yeah. And he had a bad game this game. Let's get into the next one because it's about time.
And first off, let's just start by saying this game was obviously rigged by the federal government.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of that.
Pretty certain Biden had quite a bit of money on this game and he needed it to go a certain way, so he decided he had to intervene himself.
Y'all, the government is coming for us. Get your guns. And then your loved ones.
No.
What? Am I wrong? Okay.
This is a fire. If this fire starts, refused to take
This
responsibility.
is not a drill. Go. Get to your safe room.
So that's
Throw
a
it
total
down,
trip.
man.
At what point do you not just like get off the bus and walk there?
Well, that's what they did. So that's what they said is because of a presidential motorcade.
Yes.
You assume Joe Biden was in there, but
I
it could be
didn't
a vice
realize
presidential motor. It could just be the motorcade for all we know,
Right.
not the president. I don't know. But Joe Biden decided to fuck over the ducks,
Yeah,
like he always
Personally.
does.
like he always does.
But the
Every
presidential
year.
motorcade, even though we didn't leave LA, obviously, like we went downtown into our hotel after beating USC,
Right.
and then we're like, okay, time to get to UCLA, which is famously a tough place to get to, not just Pasadena or the Rose Bowl, but to just in general Westwood, it seems like.
And so
we
what
get
you
down
do
there.
is you book a hotel 1 mile away.
Yeah. Well, so we're getting there, but then this fucking motorcade makes
Right.
it so we like it eats into
Are like
so much
an hour and a half
practice.
late.
Yeah, we're like an hour and a half late.
They postponed the game.
They literally postponed the game, which was nice because the Baylor game went overtime. So or
Big
went
time. Yeah, what a
long,
fun
so-
game that was.
It was a good game. So we're sitting there in our bus waiting for this motorcade to pass. Joe Hayden, more like it, because he's
This sounds
not
like a
getting out of
rap
this
song.
thing. he's sitting there up to no good,
Yeah.
And what it takes is the campus police have to literally come to the bus and escort us to the stadium.
I feel like what I remember them saying was it was the school president had to get involved with the government.
Yeah.
Like with state government, maybe to be like, yeah, hello.
Yeah. Exactly. You're fucking up the Pac-12.
Oh,
and
boy.
so
I have to say that,
Mhm.
but I do want to say what I love about that moment in time and history is it is a shining example of all the things that are Western American civilization.
I
A
just watched
perfect
Dr.
American
Strangelove.
moment.
I watched Dr. Strangelove and it felt like the events of that film, because then when it started, maybe it's just circumstantial, but we were off in the first half. We were
Way off.
pretty damn terrible for the first good long chunk of it. We fell down big early.
18 points, I think, was the
something like
biggest lead until it wasn't. And you got to say, it felt like one of those things. The whole first half, it felt like. You ever get in those sports moments when you're like playing with your buds or whatever, and you just get these moments where all of a sudden you got like Eye of the Tiger in your head, and you're just gonna like commit the most ultimate sequence of events to just feel like super awesome sports moment.
Yeah.
Or you find yourself in the middle of one of those, and then you've got Eye of the Tiger. Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. Grind.
It felt like they were all just singing Eye of the Tiger to themselves while playing this first half because they totally brought it back.
Yeah. Well, we really did. That was the sad part. So we fell behind by 18 points in the opening 8 minutes of the game.
Yuck.
Yep. But then we did rally back and
we were up by 1 point at the half.
Yeah, at the half we like freaking took the lead,
which is
like,
sick.
Really saying something.
Yes.
Like how
they're Eye of the Tigering it.
It felt like we were gonna absolutely blow them out in the second half just because the momentum, especially after the Biden decided to foil our whole game.
Dude,
don't get me started.
That fucking Fed always getting me down.
Yep.
Dude's a narc, I'm telling you.
Exactly. And so but we rallied back, and so I'm like, okay, we're good to go. Let's do this. And then we just could. I mean, we are the kind of team. We are not necessarily like a defensive juggernaut right now. It would really help us out if we clamped down on the defense for moments like these. But we just aren't very good.
Hey, can I ask you a weird question here? Maybe you might have insight on it.
What's that?
Did it seem like Dante was maybe following his man to the outside too often, and that maybe he needs to just stick his ass right underneath the goal and never move?
You
Because
mean when
it
he's
did
on
seem like he
offense?
was doing, I don't know.
When
Whenever
he's
I was
on
watching,
defense, following his man.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, that's
watching
what
this
they
game, it
kept
did feel like he
saying.
kind of kept following, like he had a man. It's like,
They
I don't
were
know if you
saying-
need to have a man.
You got to have a man. I mean, it's either zone. We like to split. It's either zone or man. A lot of times you're doing the zone, but we are going like back and forth. And actually, what they kept doing, like the pick and roll, and then Dante wouldn't go out and cover the guy with the ball because he would stick near the hoop. And they had that shot like all day. That was one of their most consistent.
Oh wow, okay.
Abilities to score the point.
My eyes are still learning.
Now, Aaron, overall, what it came down to, is they had more gas in the tank at the very end there.
Well, because somebody had an easier time getting there.
Yeah. And Kuznard, our go-to scorer, he got injured early on. He did come back in the game, but he missed some time, and this was off the top of my head, I'm going to say his worst performance all season. He went 1 of 9 from the floor, and he hit 1 3-pointer in the game. Like that was it for scoring.
Oh, I remember them bringing up the 1 3-pointer thing. That was kind of that was a bummer.
And we're the kind of team, because we're not great on defense, and especially when we're having troubles with our big men and injuries, we live and die by the 3. Like we need to hit that 3, and we're pretty freaking good at it. I mean, we hit quite a few against USC, and that was the difference maker. In this one, 6 of 22. That ain't gonna cut it, especially at the end. Like this game was close up until the last 4 or so minutes when UCLA really pulled away. But we had so many opportunities, so many good-looking 3-pointers that just barely did not make it. I mean, the players that we really could have used stepping up. Brendan Rigsby was 3 of 6, hit 1 of 2 from 3, so he didn't do bad. He didn't get that much playing time, which you really thought maybe we would have with Kuznard being a little cold. Kuznard, we obviously would have liked some more. Shellstad, he was really quiet until the second half. He did help rally, but he only scored 10 points in this. Dante doing everything, 16 points, 8 rebounds. And then Bam Tracy, he hit 3 3-pointers during that rally in the first half. So that was pretty awesome. And then in the second half, there was quite a few opportunities when you thought it was he's open. He's taking the 3. This could be it. That gives us the lead, and it wouldn't happen.
Right.
So even though this is a really hard loss, because this UCLA team, even though they're starting to heat up, they're 11-11 right now. They're 6-5 in conference play.
Ooh.
They're not a great team, but they are getting a lot better really quickly. If we would have won this game, we could have had, I believe it would have been the lead or tied with Arizona for first place.
Cool.
In Pac-12 play. Instead, we are tied in second place.
Okay. Can't complain.
No, we're 1 game behind. No, actually, no. Yeah, we're 1 game behind Arizona. They have the tiebreaker as of right now. And we're tied with Washington State, who we had a crazy game with. If you remember, earlier this season, we won. We beat them, but we're tied with them.
Wow.
And then it's a huge logjam after that, because Colorado, Utah, Stanford, UCLA, they all have the same conference record. So this is going to be a really competitive Pac-12 regular season. And unlike what Bill Walton said, I believe there's only going to be maybe 2 Pac-12 teams in the tournament, and I need us to be one of those. It may require us winning the whole Pac-12 tournament, though.
Yeah, the Pash dude said that some other guy said 3.
Joe Lunardi, yeah.
Yeah.
I can
So
see
I'm
that.
gonna go.
I'd like to believe that.
I'm gonna go 6.
Okay, you're still wrong, but there you go.
It's going to be a weird shakeup. We're going to go, you know what's going to happen? We're going to see a lot of people are just going to start like having their insides on their outsides.
Weird.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it's going to be like a weird alien invasion thing where they just like all of a sudden people are just like, "Bloop."
It's
You know,
that
like Inside Out Boy. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot like that. So it will affect some of the playership. That's going to shake up the way the league plays out. And
Speaking
also
of shaking up and Inside Out, Oregon's women basketball continues their spiral towards irrelevancy.
Brother.
Well, first I should say
let's rephrase that headline to where it's positive.
Oregon women's basketball is very competitive, which is true, against number 18 Oregon State.
There we go. Nice and factual, no opinion whatsoever. Love it.
We nearly won. Like, it was competitive up until the very end. Oregon State they just were more clutch in the end, able to hit key 3-pointers to
all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, at least we were competitive. Again, you can see that Kelly Graves, like, we are a better defensive team than in the years past.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a good defensive team even. It's just our inability to score is going to bite you in the butt. And it did here. Our big three, our most talented players who we desperately need to stay here. If any of these players leave next year, then we truly need to just abandon this program.
Okay.
Because we got Grace Van Sluten scored 14 points. Awesome. 5 of 16 from the floor. That's kind of the problem. 16 points from Filipina Che, always reliable.
Yeah.
The most double-doubles in Pac-12 women's basketball, so you can hang your head on that at least.
Yeah.
16 points, 18 rebounds. And this game was defined by big versus big, like Beers versus Che. And Che actually had a great game. She was 6 of 12 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 18 rebounds, though. I mean, hey, she's doing her job. And then Chance Gray, 15 points, 2 of 2 from 3-point land, 6 of 15 from the floor, though. And overall, out of the 8 3-pointers we shot, only 8. It goes to show you that we've basically abandoned that point of the game. We hit 3 of them though, so like nearly 50%. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Low shooting percent. Like, hey, it's not bad. Like, I don't think it's the reason why we lost the game. Priscilla Williams gets 0 of 5 from the floor, and that
might be a little part of why.
Yeah, she was a starter, so it's kind of tough. Overall, no one was shooting. Like, outside of those 3, no one got more than 4 points.
Cool. And look, here's the thing. You just got to remember, when you're learning defense, you don't get to focus on the offense yet. You got to get the defense burned into muscle memory, so that way you can move on to learning the next lesson, which is offense.
Scoring.
And that'll be
points.
In year 2. It'll be women's basketball 201.
Year 2 of the rebuild, because Kelly Graves has been around for a while.
Yeah. So
tough. Aaron, the problem was we shot 37% from the floor. Like, that's the problem.
That's low.
And Beavers, we actually held them to pretty low. Like, they got off to a big start. They rallied really quick, and it looked like, oh no, this is going to be a blowout loss for us in Matt Knight. However, to our credit, we did rally back, and the halftime score was 30-25. Like, pretty reasonable. That's the game.
Sure, yeah. That's enough to go back into the locker room with being hyped.
Yeah, being like, let's keep playing defense.
Yeah. You'd hope to see 32 points on the scoreboard in your own name, but 25 will work.
Beavers only turned over the ball 6 times.
Good God.
Beers had a great game, 14 points, 16 rebounds. That's what I'm
Good
saying.
God.
It was a center battle. But then you got like Reese. I mean, she didn't do great, but she definitely contributed. Von Olheim. I always forget how to say her name. Von Ol. Give me a second. Give me a second, Aaron.
Yeah, I believe you.
Von Olhoffen.
Oh, von Olhoffen.
Von Olhoffen had a really good game. Probably the woman of the match. 10
Man,
points.
that's a huge name.
Actually,
yeah. So
Beers.
much power in that name. Boom.
Gardner had 19 points, actually. And then specifically the person that makes me the saddest that is not on our team. Because randomly I went over on the graveyard that is Facebook. And I saw that I, from my personal account, posted something about 4 years ago.
How many years ago?
4 years ago.
Wow.
It was a little puff piece in my local paper from Medford, Oregon.
Hey now.
It was an article, actually. Not an article. It was like a news, a broadcast news, kind of like a little.
You did real work.
No, not me. I reposted this from the local news.
Oh.
It was a 4-minute little video all about an amazing player from South Medford High School.
Oh boy.
Where Kyle Biddle played, the great Kyle Biddle of NBA fame.
Yeah.
Donovan Hunter is from Medford, Oregon. And I was watching this and they were just being like, she's the next great basketball player. Like, even at a young age, she's killing it. She was complaining about how they don't let her play at 100% when she's playing the other like girls her age because she's just too good. And it was a bunch of like warm-up drills that you're seeing her do, and you're just like, God damn, she's amazing. She's been a sensational freshman. I reposted this 4 years ago being like, we need to make this girl a duck. Like, yes. She absolutely has to be a duck. Nope, she's a beaver. And she's an amazing beaver. She's had a freshman year that I just am so envious over. She's been one of the best freshmen in college.
Wow.
And she's not a duck, and it breaks my heart because she's from my hometown. Donovan Hunter, though, I'm envious of having someone like her on the squad. But
that's hip.
So, Aaron, that's what can I say? That's another loss for us. So this is I pointed this out to you that we were going into a stretch that is unlike.
That's right. Unlike any other.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. The hardest stretch in women's college basketball.
It is the scary part of Baldur's Gate 3 that I haven't gotten to yet, but apparently it's real hard.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because what I'm talking about here is we played at Stanford, number 8 Stanford at the time, or I think right now they're ranked number 8. We lost to Cal following that, who was unranked, but then we lost to number 16 Utah. We lost to number 3 Colorado. We've now lost to number 18 Oregon State. Up next at number 4 Colorado, at number 20 Utah, versus number 10 USC, versus number 9 UCLA. So that's how many games. That's 4 ranked games against teams that have already beaten us. Right now we are 11-2 in conference play. No, in our regular season total. So we're under 500, 11-2, 11-12. I don't know why I said 11-2. 11-12 is our overall record.
Okay.
And it's bad. And
no, I can see the positive of that.
You see the positive of losing more games than winning.
By 1 game, you're still middle of the pack. You still have a chance to have a winning season. Actually,
that is true, but we are near the very, very, very bottom of the pack.
That's
because
fine.
We are second. There's only one team supposedly technically worse than us, Arizona State.
Right.
We did beat Arizona State, so we do have that on them.
Thank God.
Arizona State is 10-12 overall, but has the same conference record, 2-8. Woo! So we're terrible. We're probably going to be the very bottom.
That's okay.
I don't know what to say, man. We suck. But here's my last little bit of news that I'd like to sprinkle before we end this wonderful episode of the Quack 12. Your boy will be at Oregon versus Washington at Matt Knight Arena coming up. Unfortunately, I'm embarrassed to say this is my first Oregon Ducks basketball game that I will be attending live, even though I live in Eugene, Oregon. I'm very excited. I'm going with a friend who knows ball, so he'll help me out a little bit.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm stoked.
Does this person have a name, or are they an off-air name drop?
Off-air name until they come on air.
Gotcha.
Come on air. That's how I'm going to get canceled. Oh my. But yeah, I'm very excited.
What?
We need to beat the Huskies. It'd be if we lose to the Huskies, that will be maybe a blow that sinks the Oregon Ducks season.
Yeah.
The men's basketball. The women's basketball season is already done.
Well,
we may not even
say,
make the fucking NIT for women's basketball. I'm just saying.
Right. And oh wait, yeah, hold on. Sorry. Quickly clarify. Is it the men's or women's game you're going to?
Men's.
Oh, okay, cool.
Enjoy myself. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. You know, we are the supporting role this year. That's fine. Let's just hope that we have a couple teams that will represent the Pac-12 nicely in the women's tournament. So that way there's some kind of a high note that Pac-12 can go out on, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, for the women's tournament, I will be rooting hard for the Pac-12. For the men's, I need the Ducks to make the big dance. I just need.
Well, sure.
Only other information I got for you is a fun little event coming up. Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph
AI.
versus Curry. They are having a 3-point. This
that's right.
A 3-point shooting competition at the NBA All-Star Weekend kind of tournament thing.
This is something he challenged her to on Twitter. Was that correct?
I believe so, because she challenged his record. I think she challenged him
because she broke the record.
Eagerly.
That's right.
They are both friends.
Yes.
One thing I really liked is, because there's the WNBA ball, which is smaller, and there's the NBA ball, and then there's the WNBA 3-point line, which is closer, and there's the men's 3-point line. I love this about Sabrina. She goes, because they tweeted this, the official NBA tweeted like, hey, we're going to have this shoot off between Sabrina and Curry. Sabrina will shoot from the women's line with the women's ball. Curry will shoot from, his respective line and ball. And then Sabrina retweeted that and said, I'm shooting from the men's 3-point line. And I fucking love that she's like, nah, I'm going from full, we're not going to say I won. Because it's
closer. This is a no excuses.
No excuse. She's like,
because you know what's fucked up is that they even have those differences. I didn't realize that. It's like, good God. Yeah. If I was a player, I would just shoot from the I don't want to say correct, but you know what I like? Yeah. The standardized lines.
I think they should standardize certainly the line. The ball is tougher just because it's just like Sabrina, she doesn't want anything to be held against her, but at the same time she's like, but I can't change the ball size because it's like that's the ball I've been practicing.
Feel. That's feel.
Like you can't give Curry the women's ball and it would not be an advantage to him because it's smaller.
No, he would it would go an extra 2 to 3 feet probably because his flick would be
the whole field would be completely off. Right. Like it'd be a distance. So you can't change that.
Sure.
But I agree. I think we should standardize the 3-point line because it's like the women will rise to meet that challenge and it'll just become normalized. And it's one less thing for shitty chuds to talk about.
Also, it's not even really the 3-pointer is a challenge regardless.
Yeah.
It's just like the distance is different, so your training becomes different, Yeah.
I mean, it could be a half-court fucking competition against Curry, and
that'd be really
ready.
fun.
Ionescu's fucking ready for it. She's a living god.
What I think they should do is they
Killer
should
Grapes?
they should compete in the full court putt challenge.
She'd
That's
win
what-
that too.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Although he did have an entire putt golf show, so he probably knows stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Dang it. All right,
Aaron, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
well, always a pleasure, sir.
I'll see you next week. We'll talk about Quack. Hopefully some wins. I'll be there in person. I'll let you know
That's
about
right.
the experience.
I'm
I'll
betting.
check out the snacks. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any, but I'll let you know what's on the menu.
You know, it's disgusting that pickles have yet to be added to any concession
Oh,
stand
boy.
list. And I got to say, somebody's got to fix this program because it's broken and we need pickles. So concessions aren't even worth it. But if you do go concessions, get a hot dog.
That is classic. I do love it. Even a shitty hot dog, I'm fine with it.
My favorite are the
Hebrew
W
National, that's where you gotta
the
go.
WS dot ferry hot dogs.
Weird.
I get the Beyond Burgers on the ferry. They're so good.
Well,
Anyway.
especially if you're talking about crappy concessions like a hot dog, let's say.
Yeah.
Here's my hot take. Most veggie dogs,
Yeah.
if you're eating a veggie dog, that's a better experience than eating a hot dog. Because hot dog meat is the lowest quality of shitholes
True.
and lips and stuff.
Mhm.
But veggie dog, like there's a certain standard of like, yeah, we gotta actually make this fucking veggie thing. That's why they're more
Mm-hmm.
expensive. And when you're putting a condiment on it, you don't even know. You
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah, that's the joy of the Beyond Burger on the ferry is that it's literally just the patty, and then you smother it in ketchup, mustard, and pickle relish, and it works. You're like, yum, yum, yum. Give me this.
They're this week's sponsor. We really shouldn't have waited this long to get to them. Washington State Ferry concession stand.
Mhm.
Hit them up. Tell them the Quack 12 sent you. I've frozen. It's the perfect time to freeze.
Yo, I want to shout out the crew on board the Spokane. You're my favorite boat. So if you get to work on that boat, I am legit jealous because I love that trip every time I take it. And I think the other boat that does that one is the Puyallup, and it's just not the same. It's an interesting boat, but the Spokane is where my heart's at.
I don't know about you, but I actually love that I'm frozen.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Good way to end the app.
Yeah, let's get out of here. You got stuck
right.
in a time vortex.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Quack, quack.
Quack.